Manchester by the Sea is a drama film directed by Kenneth Lonergan and stars Casey Affleck. And the film is about a man who, after hearing that his brother has died, goes up to Manchester to take care of his nephew. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, I had no interest in seeing this movie. I thought this was going to be a generic drama film that was obviously going to be an Oscar bait film. And this movie came out a week ago and I didn't see it then. And it wasn't until a couple of friends of mine convinced me to see this film with them that I went to go see it. And my expectations were this was going to be a generic drama film. It wasn't going to be anything special. And it took me by surprise. This was a really good movie, a fantastic movie. And first off, let me just get it out there. This is Casey Affleck's best role to date. In my opinion, I've always thought Casey Affleck has always been the better actor of the Affleck brothers. Like, don't get me wrong, Ben Affleck is a good actor as well, but I think Ben Affleck is better at directing and Casey Affleck is better at acting. Because when Ben Affleck acts, he plays very interesting, weird characters like Batman and other roles like that. But with Casey Affleck, he plays roles with a human touch, which means he portrays his characters with a human quality and he makes his characters relatable. Because throughout the entire runtime of this film, Casey Affleck's character is at the lowest point of his life. Because so many bad things has happened to him, he's been bottling up his emotions and just trying to keep it together. And you can see it in the expressions he makes because he's suffered a lot. And I'm going to get into spoiler territory here because I really need to talk about this. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is where it's a flashback scene and it reveals the lowest point of his life, and that's when he accidentally caused the death of his 3 children. And the aftermath that followed, where he was told that it wasn't a crime and he wouldn't be arrested for it, and then afterward he tried to commit suicide. The way this was shot and the music that was used, this was emotionally heartbreaking to watch. In fact, I just sat there in dead silence like this the entire time because it was that shocking. And it wasn't until this scene happened that the film definitely picked up for me. Because at the start of the film, I wasn't really that sucked in until the film went on more, and then it wasn't until this scene that this scene won me over and I loved the film from then on. In fact, a lot of the other characters in this film are portrayed as being at the lowest point in their lives. And this also happens to Lucas Hedges' character, as he's at the lowest point in his life because his dad's just died. And he's trying to sort his life out because he's playing a couple of sports, he has 2 girlfriends, he's dealing with an uncle who clearly doesn't want to take care of him. This is perhaps the most depressing movie from 2016 I've seen, but in a good way because this could have been, like I said, a generic drama film. That could have been a clear Oscar bait film, but Kenneth Lonergan, he directed and wrote this screenplay and he clearly wanted to tell a good story here, and that's what he did. He had a great cast, shot this movie incredibly well, and told a really good story as well. And like, this is perhaps the most human film of the year because this film does a good job of portraying grief. In fact, that's the constant thing that's happening throughout the film. Every character is dealing with grief. Like Casey Affleck's character's ex-wife is dealing with the grief of losing her 3 kids and being divorced from Casey Affleck's character. Every main character in this film is at a low point in their life, and this film does a good job of showing their grief. Although this film is not exactly perfect, like some things I felt were left unresolved and were never given a clear ending. Another thing that bothered me was there were a couple of pointless scenes. Like there's a scene where Lucas Hedges' character is meeting his mom and her new lover, and this scene was pointless. And this scene was really painful to watch because the acting from the mother and Matthew Broderick playing, the new lover, I just didn't like the scene. And I felt like it could have been told and shot in another way because this was just awkward beyond belief. In fact, the performance from the mother was awkward as all hell. Overall, this film blew my expectations away. I thought this was going to be a generic drama film and I would have been bored by it completely, but no, this film surprised me at every corner. It told a very good story with great performances and one of the best performances of Casey Affleck's career. And I'm going to give Manchester by the Sea a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5. Thank you so much for watching.